In a world where cannabis use is becoming increasingly normalized, the stories of young users often remain unheard. Today, we dive into the lives of students, navigating the complexities of cannabis use, exploring the experiences, challenges, and societal perception that shape their choices. Many students describe cannabis as a means to alleviate stress and anxiety, particularly during exam period, while others express the feeling of guilt or shame associated with their use, especially when they perceive it as a distraction from their academic responsibilities. Some students report that their peer views cannabis use as a rite of passage, contributing to culture of normalization among their social circle. However, students often struggle with balancing their cannabis use with academic performance, leading to conflict between their desire to fit in and their aspiration for success. The pressure to conform to social norms can lead to increased consumption, even among those who may not initially be inclined to use cannabis. Additionally, many young users face mental health challenges, with cannabis sometimes exacerbating issues like depression and anxiety rather than providing relief. Despite the growing acceptance of cannabis, stigma persists, particularly among older generation and in certain culture contexts, leaving young users feeling judged by the authority figures, including parents and educators, which can lead to secrecy and a lack of open dialogue about their experiences. Let's hear their stories.
My name is Pablo Gavirio Escobar, and I'm here to share my opinion of my journey of smoking or using weed, or marijuana as you may call it.
My name is Maya, and today I'm here to give my experience about cannabis sativa or weed.
I'm Peter Kinuthia. I started use weed in 2018. That is 6 years down the line.
These are just few voices among many. Each story is unique, yet they share common threads of curiosity, peer pressure, and the search for acceptance.
Can you tell me about your first time using weed?
It was way back in 2017. Because my first blunt I was given by my friend, can't disclose the name, but it was worth it because I can't say it was on the advantage and disadvantageous side. It was good at that time because when I just smoked it, just took me to another level where I guess people use it can give their testimony.
And how has weed helped you manage stress or anxiety?
When you smoke weed, you don't have those things. To be honest, when you smoke weed, don't even cannot not have anxiety in your body. Don't just feel like you're on a boat. Just feel like you're on the Titanic, the ocean flowing. I don't know. You guys just when you hear people saying they're high, they feel so good. They feel like they're out of the world. They're feeling like birds, you know. Yeah, that's the feeling of being high. So it helps in to handle the stress, anxiety, all those things. The weed takes you out of this world. Yeah, that's what I can just narrow up to.
And how has weed impacted your social life?
Weed helps you to be social with people. To be honest, to me personally, because there's some people who are here when they smoke weed, they can't talk to people. They get like some, what can I call it? Like they fear people. Not the fear, I can't say it fear because when you smoke it, not fearful. Maybe they're not socially, they get like they're, what is the, they like to be by themselves. But me, when I smoke it, just like even people they don't know, it helps me to talk with people very well. Yeah.
In the quiet corners of their lives, we find their whispers of curiosity, urging venture boldly, while others tread lightly, weighed down by the expectation of their peers.
So what was your first experience like?
First of all, I would wish to say that it's almost a year now since I began using weed. And when I first used weed, I felt like nilikuwa natopea kwa hewa. So I was very high. I felt nice. And I just began talking things that I do not even understand, my reactions. Yeah, I felt nice. Yeah.
How often do you use weed?
Well, I use weed thrice a week. And that's when I don't feel like using it so much. But when I'm kind of stressed, I can even use it 5 times. Yeah, so that I can reduce my stress and stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any side effects from using it?
Yeah, because sometimes I lack appetite. I feel like I don't want to eat and I want food, but I can't eat because I don't have that appetite. Other times I felt like my chest was paining, I had some chest pain sometimes back. So I thought maybe it's because of this thing that I'm smoking too much. It's causing this to me. Yeah, you can say that loss of appetite and some chest pains, I mean.
And have you ever used it for medical purposes?
Yeah, once. I ever used it once. There was a time I felt like I was dizzy and I was weak. So the moment I used weed, nilichangamka vizuri sana. I was very high, became active, doing my things. Yeah, I felt like I'm not strong. Yeah. The pressure to conform can be suffocating, yet it often sparks a flame of rebellion and desire to carve out a space that feels authentically theirs. Acceptance that exclusively treasures drives many to navigate treacherous waters. They seek in the friendship, in communities, and some even within themselves. Yet, as they grapple with their identities, they learn that true acceptance often begins from within.
Can you tell me about your first time using weed?
I think it was after Form 4 when my friend hosted this party and invited me. That's when I started using weed.
What was your experience like?
I felt a bit weird because it was my first time to use weed.
Has weed ever negatively impacted your relationships?
Yeah, of course, that's true. Weed imechangia sana kwa relationship yangu. Nimekosana na watu, nimejuana na watu, imefanya mambo mengi sana kwa maisha yangu.
Have you ever experienced any negative side effects from using weed?
I don't think so. I feel like it's just positive vibe from weed. Yeah.
And do you think weed can be used responsibly?
Not really, because for me, I'm much addicted to it, so I can't stay even an hour without it.
With each story, we are reminded of the resilience of the human spirit. As they share their journey, we invite you to listen closely, to reflect onto the universal theme that connects us all. For in all this narrative, we find not just individual struggles, but a collective quest for understanding, love, and ultimately a place to call home. Social dynamics plays a significant role in shaping these experiences. For many, cannabis use is intertwined with friendship and community. As I reflect on the intersect trapeze of social interaction, it becomes clear how deeply cannabis use is woven into the fabric of friendship and community. For countless individuals, the act of sharing a joint, passing a pipe, transcends mere consumption. It becomes a ritual, a bonding experience that fosters connection and understanding. Yet, this connection is not without its complexities. The dynamic of social circle can shift, influenced by personal choices, societal perception, and legal landscapes. For some, cannabis may serve as a bridge, drawing together diverse groups and fostering inclusivity. For others, it may highlight division, as differing attitude towards its use can lead to misunderstanding or even conflict. In essence, the relationship between cannabis and social dynamics is a reflection of our collective values and experiences. It reveals how we navigate friendship, community, and identity, often eliminating the deeper human need for connection. As we continue to explore these dynamics, we gain insights not only into the nature of cannabis use, but also into the very essence of what it means to belong. Cannabis use becomes increasingly evident that its impact on mental health and academic performance is profound and multifaceted. Experts in the field of psychology and education have raised valid concerns about the correlation between cannabis use and mental health issues. Research indicates that regular use, particularly among adolescents and young adults, can exacerbate conditions such as anxiety, depression, and even psychosis.
Hi, my name's Ayuma Emily. I'm a mental health professional. I'll be handling cannabis sativa. Cannabis sativa is one of the most abused drugs in Kenya, and among our old and young users especially are the people who are mostly affected by cannabis sativa. Cannabis sativa can affect both motivational and cognitive function of the brain. Most users of cannabis sativa think that after using the drug, they can obtain some strength. They know they deal with their inner demons, and most of them think that they have extra strength after taking the drug. So they use it mostly to boost their confidence among the people in the world. One of the reasons that I think that our users of cannabis sativas are mostly the young people is their main reason is their environment. Many users are affected by peer pressures from friends and the things that they see other people in their environment are doing. Another reason for why mostly our young users abuse the cannabis sativa is the home violence that are unattended. You see a violence at home and you have no one to share about it. It's giving you pressure, then you decide to use some drugs to calm you down and calm your nerves down, and until you feel like you can face other people. I think those are the main things that affect our people. And talking about peer pressure is one of the ugliest things that happens to our young users. You see somebody doing this, then you feel like, yeah, it's worth taking to do it, ending up abusing drugs. And most users say that they get strength and their confidence are regained. They feel more welcomed in their social life when they use the drug more than they are in their normal lives. Cannabis sativas mostly affect our norms, leading to people being introverts. That is.
As we listen to the voice of an expert, it's crucial to consider these findings with care. Recent studies reveal a concerning rise in usage rates, particularly among the adolescents, with urban areas showing significantly higher prevalence compared to their rural counterparts. This trend raises critical questions about the underlying factors driving this increase. As we explore the mental health implication, we find a troubling correlation between cannabis use and the various mental health disorders. Statistics indicate that adolescents who regularly use cannabis are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and even psychosis. This vulnerability during formative years cannot be overlooked. Turning our attention to educational outcomes, the data paints a stark picture. Cannabis users often face challenges in academic performance with lower grades and higher dropout rates. The long-term consequences of substance use on education are profound, affecting not just individuals but society as a whole.
I worry about our young users of cannabis sativa. Most of them just want to be given a listening ear by especially their parents and guardians. And since most of them feel that they are outcasts, they think isolation is the best solution for their problem. So when we face them and give them an advice about what they can do or engage them in activities that may captivate their mind to think positive about themselves, at least that way they can handle the use of cannabis sativa. Another way is by reducing the consumption habit by some percentage. In the end of the day, maybe it will take some days because cannabis sativas, once it is abused, once you are addicted by it, it's very hard to stop. So I think reduction of the percentage of use can handle the use of cannabis sativa, and it can make people to reduce the usage. When you take a quantity that is lesser than the previous one, little by little, it will get out of your system, but it will take some time. It will take a lot of time to achieve that. Another thing is going to guidance and counseling, which most of the cannabis sativa think that no, they can't do that because they feel like they are treated special from others. They feel like they are outcasts. They feel like, so when we want to take them to a guidance and counseling, that depends on their own decision. But one thing I can say is that we engage them in our daily lives and interactions.
Despite the myriad challenges that life presents, resilience emerges as a powerful force, illuminating our paths with hope and determination. In the face of adversity, these young voices rise, each one carrying a unique story of struggle and triumph.
What would you tell someone who's been using weed and they want to stop?
On the negative part, it's financially draining because all you want is to invest on smoking. Yeah, another part, might get some withdrawal symptoms after you smoke, and too much of sleep. Like always feel sleeping. On my own experience, I'm talking on my personal experience. I feel most of the time I'm not active. I feel like taking a nap and sleeping. But on the good side, just getting high. Yeah, that's are my final remarks.
And what are some of your hopes and plans for the future?
To be honest, I'm planning to stop, and I'm taking some rehab sessions from my therapist to battle it, to just stop, just step by step.
What would you tell other young ladies who have been drawn to weed one way or the other and they want to stop?
Well, personally, I will tell these girls or ladies who are out there that and you are into weed. Manze, weed ni kitu mbaya sana. Na unafanya vitu zingine crazy zenye hata hukuwahi tarajia utafanya. So if you are into weed or you want to get into weed, please don't. Sababu kuingia ni rahisi, kutoka ni ngumu sana, because personally I've been trying and daily kuacha weed, but the addiction, I find that I can't, siwezi. So I just tell them that those ladies, especially girls, because of peer pressure, umekuja campus, unapata tu mabeshte wenye umepata campus ni wa kusmoke weed. You better leave those companies and acha tu hiyo company yao watu, stay alone and remember where you come from, kumbuka kwenu, and know that your parents brought you here huku campus kusoma ili uwasaidie. So we nitegemea kwenu. So if you want to get into weed, just remember hiyo moment unaenda kuingia tu kwa weed, kumbuka tu penye unatoka, alafu mbio sana toroka, sababu mimi nimejaribu and I can say that if there's someone out there who can try to help me get out of this thing, manze, I need your help.
What would you tell someone who has maybe been influenced or tried weed for the first time and they want to stop?
Miche naweza ambia vijana huko nje, mostly ni vijana, manze, hii historia pia pressure isiwa drag into weed. Si poa. Mimi mwenyewe hapa penye niko na regret so much cause imeni affect tu sana. So mi vijana naweza waambia tu manze, weed si kitu fiti sana, ni addiction. So long as umeingia kwa weed, sioni ukiacha hivyo rahisi. So it's better you just abstain early cause you might find yourself in a very difficult situation yenye hawezi juu utajitoa aje. So mi chenye naweza kuambia manze, just abstain na usiache rafiki ya kudrag kwa kitu yenye itakuaffect wewe na familia yako. Kumbuka hii maisha ni yako. Hii maisha si ya rafiki yako. Hii maisha si ya familia yako. Hii maisha ni yako. So kuwa dereva wa maisha yako. Jua ni nini unataka kwa hii maisha. Jua umetoka wapi. Angalia background yako mse. Usikuja hapa campus, unaona umekutana na wasee kidogo hivi ati tujaribu hii. Mse, kaa kitu si yako, manze usijaribu. Hiyo ndo kitu mimi naweza advise. Si rahisi, ijai kuwa rahisi. Top shota. Good.
As we conclude our exploration of cannabis use among the youth, it is imperative that we recognize the importance of fostering open conversation. By encouraging dialogue, we empower young people to voice their thoughts, concerns, and experiences, ultimately supporting them in making informed choices. Together, we can cultivate a culture of understanding and resilience, one where young individuals feel safe to share their struggles and seek guidance without the fear of judgment. This collaborative effort will not only enhance their decision-making skills, but also build a community that prioritizes health, well-being, and mutual respect. Let us commit to being allies in this journey, ensuring that every young person has the resource and support they need to navigate their world confidently and responsibly. In doing so, we pave the way for a brighter future, one rooted in empathy, knowledge, and strength.